The late afternoon sun bathed the skyline in a golden hue as employees bustled out of the towering glass headquarters of Lincrest Technologies. It was Friday, and most were eager to begin their weekend. Laughter echoed in the lobby, and expensive shoes clicked against the marble floor as executives in tailored suits exited with the ease of people used to comfort. In a quiet corner near the service entrance, Thomas Hill clocked in. Wearing a navy janitorial uniform and carrying a battered thermos, he nodded politely to the receptionist, who barely glanced up from her phone. He made his way to the janitor's closet, changed into his gloves, and began his usual routine: sweeping, wiping down glass, and emptying bins. At 62, Thomas had worked at Lincrest for over a decade. He was quiet, efficient, and always on time. Most of the staff didn't know his name. Some assumed he was new every time they saw him. Upstairs, in a sleek boardroom overlooking the city, Lincrest's quarterly celebration was in full swing. Managers, directors, and a few senior staff gathered to sip champagne and nibble hors d'oeuvre. At the front, CEO Vivian Sterling raised a glass. "To another record-breaking quarter," she announced. Cheers erupted. Vivian turned to her assistant. "Has the guest speaker arrived?" Her assistant scanned the crowd and shook her head. "Not yet. He better not be late. This is an important moment," Vivian muttered. Meanwhile, Thomas finished cleaning the executive floor. He paused by the boardroom, hearing laughter and the clinking of glasses. He moved on, continuing his work. His shift had barely begun. Back in the boardroom, Vivian tapped her glass. "Ladies and gentlemen, in the spirit of growth and innovation, I've invited a special guest to share a few words about long-term vision and legacy. He's an expert in institutional memory and corporate endurance." Whispers went around the room. Some executives looked at their watches. Just then, the double doors opened. Heads turned, expecting a consultant in a crisp suit. In walked Thomas Hill. Confused murmurs rippled through the room. One manager leaned over to whisper, "That's the janitor, isn't it?" Vivian smiled, unfazed. "Everyone, please welcome Mr. Thomas Hill." Thomas stepped forward, holding a single sheet of paper. He looked around the room, pausing. "Good evening," he said. "Most of you don't know me. Some of you nod politely. Others never see me at all. My name is Thomas Hill, and I've been cleaning this building for the last 11 years. The room fell silent. "I was asked to speak today, not because I know your numbers, but because I know your halls," he continued. "I've seen people come and go. I've seen triumphs and layoffs. I've seen how people treat those they don't need to impress." He let the words sink in. "Some of you greet me every day. Others walk past me like I'm part of the furniture. And that's okay. I'm not here for recognition. I'm here because every corner I clean tells me who this company really is." Someone shifted uncomfortably in their seat. "I watched one of your interns drop coffee and apologize profusely while helping me clean it up. I watched a VP step over a spill and bark at me to hurry. The intern left last year. The VP got promoted." Vivian remained expressionless, letting him continue. "You see, culture isn't what you print in the HR handbook. It's how people behave when they think no one important is watching." A few heads turned. Thomas glanced at his paper, but didn't read from it. "When Vivian asked me to speak, I thought it was a joke. But she said, 'You've been here longer than 90% of my executives. You know what we're made of.' And she was right." He looked directly at the crowd. "You are building something that lasts. Not just profits, not just innovation, but legacy. And that starts with character." Silence. A thoughtful silence. "So, as you toast your accomplishments, I'll say this. Pay attention to the people who don't sit in meetings. Notice the ones who clean up after the celebration. Ask their names. Shake their hands." Thomas folded his paper. "Because a legacy isn't measured by how high you climb, but by how many people you lift on your way up." He nodded to Vivian and stepped back. For a moment, no one moved. Then someone clapped. Another followed. Soon, the room filled with genuine applause. Vivian stepped forward, raising her glass again. "To character, to character," the crowd echoed. That night, Thomas returned to his cart. He didn't need to clean the boardroom. It had already been seen in a new light. And from that day forward, more employees began greeting him by name, not out of obligation, but out of respect. If you like to watch more lesson stories like this, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell button too.